last year I did a video where I cleaned my basement area and I had everything lined up, and it's still basically everything where it was. It looks really messy now, and I'll tell you why. I have a closet over here, and it's a good size closet, but it is so dark inside I can't see anything. So I'm going to paint the entire inside of this closet white. As you can see, it even goes down there. So there's a lot of storage, has all these shelves, and a good percentage of the stuff that's on this table is either going to go away, or the stuff that I had to put on the floor is either going away, going back into the closet, or being redistributed where it should be in the house. So that's what I have going on right now. What I'm going to do is cheat. I'm just going to do spray paint. I'm just going to spray everything white inside. I'm not even taking the shelves out. I'm just going to spray them right inside the closet. I proceeded to spray paint the inside of the cabinet, and I started to spray paint the shelves as well, but the shelves I found out were really in bad condition. Also, they were like built in. The houses here have everything done custom. There's nothing that's uniform. Everything will be like 37 3/4 wide and things like that. So I just decided to get rid of the shelving, even though I had already spray painted them. We decided we're going to put a rod across the top for some clothing that we have in our overflow area of our unfinished side of the basement. Going to add one extra half shelf at the bottom here, or maybe a whole shelf across, which is going to be used for maybe some shoes and whatnot. And these were the shelves that were taken down. So you can see, and they're quite heavy actually. In order to get rid of them, we're just going to have to cut them down so we can get our garbage man to take them. But right now, I had taken everything out of the closet, and here's where I had positioned everything. I put everything on the table here or underneath the table. I boxed up shoes and handbags so that spray paint would not get all over them. I'm going to show you the rest of my basement because some people said when I cleaned up and did my first video, I did not show them the rest of my basement, and really it didn't need any cleaning up, and I'll show you why. So I showed you this is the side that has all the stuff that came out of the closet on the table, and this was the portion I did in the first video here. And now this is where I maintain all my eBay articles for sale. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. And I have my ironing board set up. I have all my packing supplies here. And the unfinished side of my basement is just my laundry room, my furnace, which is going unfortunately right now, as well as my dehumidifier. But what we have here is we've cleaned out this whole section here. There used to be a big cabinet here that was built in, that was huge. I don't know if they were using for a storm shelter. And there was some cabinetry up here and above here. And what we did was we just hung some chains to put some overflow clothing. So what we're going to do is now reposition this rod, get a new rod, and put it back onto the other side into the closet where it'll be safer. I finished painting the inside of the closet as best as I'm going to paint it. I don't feel it has to be perfect for my purposes right now, but I did buy a shelf. So it is a distressed barnwood effect. So it does go with the other part of the non-completely covered wood panels that they put in the back here. So we're going to get started putting up the closet rod that's going to be suspended from here all the way across. We bought a heavy-duty closet rod. It goes from 48 to 72. Again, my closet is 70 inches wide. It's custom built. Again, this is what's common in older homes. We bought some of the end rod cup hooks that go on the end that are also heavy-duty. And we are going to be extra cautious. So we bought some of these extra. These are just basically ceiling hooks, they call them. And what we're going to do is suspend them underneath the shelf, drill them into the shelf, hang some chains, just to make sure the closet rod does not fall. So this is the little makeshift chain we put around the closet rod. It's really right in the center. The little hooks go into the shelf above. This is some heavy duty chain we already had. Yes, the closet rod is suspended from these heavy duty cup hooks, but we just feel more comfortable having this little extra piece of protection in case the curtain rod does want to sag for some reason. I probably didn't really need to do this, but I just did this as a little extra instead of painting the panels on the inside of these closet doors. I just decided to use something that looked like the gray barnwood shelf that I put in at the bottom. So I'm just going to put that in the center panel here on each side. So this is what the first side looks like. And I'm just going to finish up with the second door. These peel and stick are really easy to put on the door, but remember, not everything is square. This paper isn't perfectly square, neither is the panels really on the door. So just do your best. They're really simple. I just tear off part of it and then start lining it up here against the first one I put on to make sure I get the seams as close as possible. And then I just slowly run the strip down like that. And it's a really fast, easy trick. And I picked something that was pretty like generic. It didn't have something that I had to worry about it lining up perfectly. So this is how it's going up right now. Going to show you, these are just things that we're never really going to have to access. Some old papers. My husband wants to keep some of these old cameras, an old video camera. There's some keepsakes, baby booties, and there's some old VCR home videos my husband has yet to transfer over. So we're just going to keep them in the bottom. This shelf is movable. It can move this way or that way over this mid portion. So that's good. So we have easy access to it. And now I'm just going to continue filling the top here above this side. I really don't like to buy extra storage bags, but these are $4.99 for 3. They're not great, but I'm using them to store curtains that I took down when I replaced curtains in my family room. So I'm going to pack them up, put them in here. I have a little moth trap in here to keep all the clothes and the fabrics, hopefully moth-free, we'll see. And the shelf, I don't want to put a lot of weight on because of the closet rod has this little extension over there that's going to help it in case it was to drop. But this rod is very sturdy and we bolted it in, screwed it in really tight. Those are heavy duty cup hooks, so it should be fine. These are called actually handbag storage over the door hook racks, and they really work great for boots. If you just take your boots and you stuff them, get some bubble wrap, stuff them so they stay firm. You can lay them crossways even without. These don't have any bubble wrap in them. These do. Any ones that are more solid, you can just stack them on top of each other. It's really easy. I think this is a great way to store your boots when you don't have enough ways to store them upright, and they don't get crushed, they don't get ruined, they stay nice, especially if you stuff them with the bubble wrap first. I even found this garment rack cover and it's only $2. So I bought it and I'm going to use it to cover up the rack that houses some of my eBay clothing. One of the worst parts of doing any kind of organizing, decluttering, downsizing is having to deal with a secondary or even a tertiary person, because their opinions of what needs to go and what needs to stay is going to be different from yours. I tried to respect my husband's opinion, but he had 5 suits, 4 sport coats, and all of them have moth holes in them. They're old. The newest one is, I think, 11 years he bought it. So I said, "You're gonna buy another suit?" He goes to me, "I might need it for a funeral." This is where his thoughts are going. I mean, he's 77, but he's talking about other people's funerals. And I'm like, you're probably not even going to go to those funerals, to be honest. You're really not mobile and you're not all that healthy. And I'm not going to be taking a plane to go anywhere with you for probably a funeral. But the bottom line is that's the problem with downsizing, organizing, and getting things set up in a, more of a minimalist, not minimalist, but kind of like taking away the unnecessary items. I don't even care if you have 5 white shirts. I mean, I don't care if you have duplicates. They all fit, they're all in good condition, and you wear them, that's fine. I just don't want to keep things that are old and tatty and that have no purpose anymore and don't serve your lifestyle anymore. Here is stuff that I had done from my first renovation. Now, I'm going to be actually moving some of this stuff over to the unfinished side of my basement. It does not need to be in here. Eventually, this is my goal, is that this side with the closet and the windows are going to become a bedroom. May not happen for years, but it's what my intentions are. And I would like to get this organized as best as possible. And I'll tell you why, because I'm not getting any younger and I'm not going to start moving boxes and sorting through stuff. Now is the time for me to figure out, call it quits, what I don't need, what I don't want. I really par down on decor for my house as well as for the holidays. And I'm going to stick to that agenda as best as I can. But I'm going to move some of these things, like my husband, again. These are empty bins. These bins are empty. So I'm a big proponent of not really having a lot of bins because they do encourage storage. But way down here, this is portfolios from my daughter. I'm going to ask her, does she want any of this stuff? If she does, she's gonna have to pay to ship it or it's going in the garbage. I'm tired of looking at it. And these 2 bins that were way back here, these have old computer stuff. This is stuff, again, my husband does not want to get rid of. He's not been to work for, over 15 years. And I don't know what kind of documents or whatever he thinks he needs to save that are on there, but probably we have paper or we don't need to worry about them. It's over 7 years. So those are just gonna go over into the unfinished side of the basement. And here is the unfinished side. Sorry if the lighting isn't real good, but this is where we had the clothes hanging across here, suspended from the rafters. And my husband, again, has these clothing items. For some reason, he has to have 2 sets of clothes that can't fit in the closet or under his bed upstairs or, in the secondary bedroom either. He just doesn't want to be bothered, I think. He keeps tons of stuff. I remember sorting through when my mother-in-law, his mother died. Oh my God. She had like 40 bras. I'm like, what did she do with 40 bras? I don't understand. Why, when she bought new ones, didn't she get rid of them? This is the same thing with my husband. He does the same thing. He keeps buying new, keeps keeping the old. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen if he gets rid of the old, but I have to be more conscious because he is getting older and sometimes he just doesn't even know what he's doing in some degree. So I have to really kind of take a hold of the situation and just do things, and a lot of times he doesn't even know the stuff has disappeared, to be honest. So unfortunately, that's the way life is as we go along and get older. But I am going to sort through. I already rebagged stuff into these little bags, and I'm going to bring those other bins in here as well. I've stacked everything up. So that's all my husband's stuff. This is holiday gear. I'm going to start stacking that up too, getting it out of the other room as well. So let me bring a couple of those boxes in. I realized I have actually 2 extra plastic bins, and I have Christmas stuff in these boxes. these will stack up better. So I'm going to transfer stuff from here into these bins and then stack them up in the other room. Then I can break down these boxes, use them or save them for something else, or just throw them away. It'll save a lot of time and energy and also save a lot of room. And lo and behold, I have a box inside of a box. So I'm going to be taking everything out of this box because I don't think it's going to fit in here the way this one is shaped. And I will just sort through and decide what needs to stay and go. And that'll be another thing that's done, which will keep me more organized and save some space. Turning out all of these wrapped ornaments are breakables. So I'm just going to take them out of the box and gently just put them back in here like so. They'll be fine. Nothing is going on them that's heavy. Just going to put those in here like this. Like that. Got those here. I've got these. These are kind of heavy. They'll just go in the corner. And some more here go in the corner. And then I'm going to put the Christmas stockings that I have right on top, all nice and lightweight. And this box is now empty and can be broken down. This one's being utilized to its best function. Just have to put a lid on it. I'm going to switch these boxes around. I'm going to see. Now I'm going to get started on the second box. Now this box has my Christmas trees. I just use little pop-up trees like this, 2 of them. I'm going to see if they fit. They don't really fit in the bottom, but they fit on the top because of the way these are angled, these tubs. So I'm going to see if at the end I can put them on the top somewhere. So let me see. Just put that over there. I have some boxes here. Boxes. Let's see if I can get these in here. So this is how that's starting to look. I think I can put this one on here like that. I have this. And I have some, these I made. I have a couple of these little Christmas trees. I crocheted these, so they're cute. I like them. I want to keep them. They may be able to go into this second box where it has the soft stuff because they're really just soft and squishy, along with the little tree skirt. Let's see. I need to get everything balanced so that I can put these inside. Let me see if I can get one in here. Okay, so one will fit. They will fit on the top. So I can put one on the top here, probably one in the top there. It won't really hurt anything. And I can now put the rest of this stuff maybe in the corner here, like so. This way I'm condensing everything, and I'm not really keeping things that I don't need. And then I can put this one probably on the top of this one right here, just ever so gently. There. I think that will be fine. Everything's wrapped nice and good in here, so nothing is going to break. And then all I have to do is put the lids on, like so. And now everything is going to stay nice and secure. And I know where everything is. All the Christmas stuff is in here. Now I'm down 3 boxes, regular boxes, because these were just left sitting there empty, taking up space. I really am getting to the final part of this organization, but here's something else that my husband does not want to get rid of. This lamp. I mean, he acts like it's worth $1 million. It's not Tiffany. It's not Tiffany. And it doesn't fit with my decor. It is from his first marriage. We've been married 42 years, and he's still hanging on to this. He lived in a Tyrolean haunted house, his first home. It had one bathroom upstairs. It was this old brick Tudor. It had all this dark wood with the round, scrolly finishes, and the wood frames exposed was so uncomfortable and ugly. And slowly, I told him, I'm not living with your old furniture from your first marriage, but this is still a holdover. And he thinks it's got some extreme value. He had an old tennis racket, I'll tell you. He thought, oh, I paid all this money for it. It's gotta be worth a fortune. I went online, looked at what it was when we were moving. People were selling them on eBay for $8, so I got rid of it. This is what, again, I can't say this strong enough. The organization and downsizing is really a struggle as you get older, and the older you get, things become kind of I think there's a misplacement of what the value or what it really is. It's valuable to you because it has sentiment, I understand, but it's from his first marriage. I don't need to keep it any longer. But it is going to go in the cabinet for now because I don't want to have an argument with him, and it's just easier for me to find a place for it where I don't have to look at it every single day. So as you can see, I found a place for it. I just shoved it in the bottom of this closet, and that's where it'll stay until I can get rid of it at some later date. Again, don't ask me why, but maybe this is something that happens as we get older. I'm 66, my husband's 77, but I don't have attachment to things the way he does. This side is actually where it's got a little messy because I was mailing stuff today for my eBay sales, but what I want to tell you is here's another thing. My husband has a guitar that he has from when he was a teenager. My daughter thought she wanted to play guitar. She hasn't touched a guitar in 20, probably, she's almost 38, probably since she was 16. So this guitar we bought for her. I'm not sending it to her. I'm probably going to just sell it to a shop. And my husband will not get rid of his old guitar. I got rid of flutes because I don't play the flute anymore. They were just better off used by somebody instead of them getting ruined. So now I have to, again, make a decision of how I'm going to get rid of or where I'm going to place that one guitar. I'm down to the final stretch. I put everything that I want to donate in the back of my car already, and now I just have to bring up these boards that were used as shelving in the garage so that we can cut them down and put them in our trash bin for disposal. So I'm going to start by showing you the closet. Let me show you what it looks like. It came out really good. Here's the outside of the closet, and I just rehung these two holders that held my pocketbooks and my boots originally because they work and they're not getting in anybody's way. So here's how it looks. Everything's hung up on the hangers. I have everything organized in some storage boxes. Everything that I don't really need to access immediately or probably ever is at the bottom, and I have a shelf that we're going to use for shoes. I may just get a secondary shelf here, but we will have to cut it down. Again, these closets are custom. They were like 70 inches long, so 36 would have to be cut down if I'm using two of those half shelves. And this is how the inside looks with the peel and stick wallpaper I used. Now over here I have a station that we use for all of our electronics. So we keep a lot of the power batteries plugged in over here, especially for the lawnmower. The batteries are better in the house than in the garage, along with paint, tape, glues, anything like that. I like to keep in a cool environment, so they'll just stay here for now. And this is where I'm just going to leave the things that I'm going to either get rid of, sell, or figure out what to do with the guitars, my purse. This is a Yadro. And so this is all original, and that's also got to go. That's my daughter's portfolio. But everything else was here originally, and other stuff was moved onto the unfinished side, like I said. The only thing I didn't show you was in the very back of the basement, we have our sump pump. This is in the room I just worked on, completing everything with the closet, but there's nothing we can do about it. This room had a lot of damage with water, which was corrected, and so we had to take all the baseboard up for mold, and we never put anything back. But if we do get around to it, again, it'll be after we work on this back area, because now that we've done the closet and everything looks clean and neat and the lot of clutter is going away, we would like to make that area a 3rd bedroom, which would be a really good selling feature for this house, to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Now I'm going to go into the unfinished portion of the basement, and it's basically just where we have our washer and dryer and our overflow sink here. So it's basically unfinished, as I said, but it's useful because I can just put these things like the overflow clothing and my overflow Christmas decor. And I do have, again, tapes and glues and paint supplies on this shelf here, which is really important, like I said, to not keep it in the garage. This doorway is just covered with a couple of curtains because it goes into the finished room, and that room is heated and the draft is terrible. But over here in this corner is where I put some of the overflow pictures that I haven't decided what to do with yet. And this area we would like to make into a bathroom. It has the window already. We have the exposed rafters to run electricity, and it would be perfect because if we go down, we already have our water lines and our sewer line in direct line to where we would put the toilet and the shower over here. So that's something we're also anticipating doing in the future in this room. As I leave the unfinished area, this is the most finished area of the basement. This is where I've done complete overhaul. I did chalk paint on the walls. Everything is organized with lighting. I have some decor, clocks and pictures, so that makes it nice. We have a couch for our seating area. My dog loves it down here because it's either really nice and warm because we have baseboard heating in the winter, or it's cool enough in the summer when it's very humid. And again, this is like a second living area for us, but we don't have any overflow from upstairs or in the other room. This video I did about how I covered over the stairwell with a curtain, and you can watch that if you want, but this is where I just keep my printer as well. Just some little decorative items here. Nothing, there's no mess in this room. This is basically the way it has always remained since we finished it over probably about 2 years ago. As you can see, this has been my second go around at organizing and decluttering my basement. And by setting up the closet area, I've accomplished another section that I really needed to tackle. It took a little longer than I expected, but again, this is a process, not a sprint. So keep that in mind. If you like this video, give it a like, a share, a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Big City Girl, Small City Living. Bye.